Hey guys, today, I am going to explain a 2014 horror mystery thriller film called It Follows. It is the story of a young woman who is chased by an unknown supernatural force after having sex with a cursed man. Will she be able to escape from it? To know what happens, watch the complete video. So, let's start. A young woman is trying to run away from someone or something. Her father checks on her, but she tells him that she is okay. She gets in her house to get the car keys and drives away. The woman drives to a beach at night. At the beach, she calls her father and tells him that she loves him and is sorry for being a bad daughter. The next morning, the woman is found brutally murdered, and her body is torn apart. Then we are taken to Jay, who is chilling in her pool. After having an ice bath, she joins her sister Kelly and friends Paul and Yara. Paul has a crush on Jay, but she is seeing someone else named Hugh. Jay goes on a date with Hugh at the movie. While waiting in line, Jay plays a game with Hugh and asks him to trade his place with someone in the crowd. Hugh chooses a young boy and says that he is envious of him, as he is innocent and lives a carefree life with no stress. When they are inside the theater, Hugh points Jay at a young woman standing at the entrance, but Jay cannot see her. Suddenly, Hugh gets nervous and leaves the theater with Jay. On their next date, Hugh takes Jay to a secluded place and they begin kissing. Jay suggests going back to the car, where they mate. After mating, Hugh knocks Jay unconscious with chloroform. Jay wakes up and finds herself tied up in a wheelchair. Hugh apologizes to Jay for tying her and explains to her that when they mated, he passed a curse onto her. Because of the curse, a thing is now going to follow her everywhere. It can take the form of any person and will follow her continuously at a walking pace. The thing can only be seen by the people who have the curse. Hugh tells Jay to mate with someone else soon, or else if this thing catches her, it will kill her, and the curse will revert back to him. While explaining to Jay about the curse, Hugh spots a naked woman slowly walking towards them, and Jay can also see her. Hugh takes Jay with him, and drops her at her house, after which he drives away. Jay is confused by the situation, and tells the police about Hugh and the naked woman. The police search for Hugh, but cannot find him anywhere. After recovering from the incident, Jay checks her mating machine to see if it's still functional. One day at school, Jay spots an old woman in a hospital gown walking straight towards her. Scared, Jay abruptly leaves her class, but the old woman is still walking towards her. Apart from Jay, no one else can see the old woman. Before the old woman can catch her, Jay runs away. She drives straight to Paul and Kelly's workplace and tells them everything. Paul wants to impress Jay and offers to stay the night with them. That night, Jay, Kelly, Yara, and Paul spend the night at Jay's house. Later that night, Jay joins Paul on the sofa and watch TV together. While they are talking, they hear someone smashing the kitchen's window. Paul goes to inspect the sound, but does not find anyone in the kitchen. Jay goes to check for herself and sees a urinating half-naked woman with dark eyes walking towards her. Scared, Jay runs upstairs into a room. Paul and Kelly are confused with the whole situation and thinks that Jay is hallucinating. While they are trying to console Jay, Yara knocks on the door. When Kelly opens the door, a tall man with dark eyes enters the bedroom. Jay runs for her life, as no one else can see the man. She runs to a nearby playground and tries to process what she just saw. Paul, Kelly, and Yara catch up to her. A neighbor named Greg comes to check on them and offers to help them by giving them a ride. Jay wants to confront Hugh and find out what exactly is happening with her. They arrive at Hugh's address, which seems to be abandoned a long time ago. Hugh was using the house temporarily until he passed the curse to Jay. While checking a magazine, Paul finds a photo of Hugh and the woman who died in the beginning. Jay recognizes the jacket, which is from Lawson High School. Jay and Greg go to the school to find Hugh's real address. They learn that Hugh's real name is Jeff Raymond and drive straight to his real address. Jeff's mother answers the door, and Jay realizes that the naked woman she saw coming for her earlier was in the form of Jeff's mother. Jeff tells Jay that she needs to sleep with someone else and pass on the curse to them. Dissatisfied with Jeff's explanation, the group then goes to Greg's lake house, where they can figure out their next plan. Jay decides to learn how to use a gun to protect herself. While the group is chilling near the lake, the entity takes on the form of Yara and grabs Jay's hair. Paul attacks it, but gets blown away. Jay manages to escape and grabs a gun. After shooting several times, she hits the entity, but it is unaffected. The entity takes the form of a tall man and breaks the door. It then takes the form of a boy who lives next door to Jay. Jay runs to Greg's car and drives away, but crashes into a cornfield. She wakes up in the hospital, where she is being treated for her broken arm. Feeling scared for her life, Jay decides to pass the curse on to Greg, as he doesn't believe in the curse. When they are alone, Jay mates with Greg, hoping to get rid of the curse. Paul learns about Jay and Greg, and is heartbroken. A few days later, Jay is released from the hospital and returns home. One night, Jay looks out her window and sees Greg walking down the street to his house. He breaks the window and enters the house. Jay realizes that the entity has taken the form of Greg. Jay runs to Greg's house to warn Greg, but finds the entity in the form of Greg's mother, knocking on his door. As soon as Greg opens the door, it jumps on him. Jay sees the entity mating with a dead Greg. Realizing that the curse is reverted back to her, she flees in a car and goes to the woods to spend the night alone. The next morning, Jay wakes up and finds herself near a beach. She sees 3 men chilling on their boat. She takes off her clothes and goes into the water, hoping to pass on the curse to them. She returns home and tries to get some rest. Paul wants to mate with Jay and pass the curse to him. But Jay refuses, as she doesn't want him to be killed. So Paul comes up with a plan to kill the entity once and for all, and put an end to the curse. While leaving, Jay spots the entity in the form of a naked man, staring at her from the roof. The group goes to an abandoned swimming pool, where they plan to lure the entity into the water and electrocute it. Jay gets into the pool, as she is the bait. After some time, she spots the entity, which has now taken the form of her deceased father. But instead of entering the pool, it starts throwing electrical equipment at Jay to electrocute her. Paul tries to shoot the invisible entity, but accidentally wounds Ciara. He fires again and shoots the entity. Kelly covers it with a sheet, and Paul shoots it straight in the head, causing it to fall into the pool. As Jay tries to get out of the pool, it pulls her underwater by the ankle. Paul again shoots it in the head, and Jay manages to escape. Jay approaches the pool, which is filling with blood. After returning home, Jay meets with Paul for helping him get rid of the curse. Later, Paul drives through town, passing some prostitutes. Sometime later, Jay and Paul walk down the street hand in hand, as a person is walking towards them. So this was the story of It Follows. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.